BXP Software. My name is Philip Lacey. Today we're going to look at metadata in BXP. Metadata is the macro engine of BXP, and it allows you to manipulate data using processed rules to generate formatted output. So the data that you may want to collect could be through a manual upload, from an SFTP site, from email as attachments or in the body of the email, from work you do in BXP already, or from integration with mobile apps and websites through the BXP RESTful API. Once all that data comes in, we're going to, first of 4 steps, retrieve the data. So we need a place to store it, and then all the data starts to flow in. So from all the different sources and all the different sites, the data comes in, and we put it into a temporary storage area. With all the data now ready to go, what we're going to do is use an input, process, and output sequence. All those data files, what we need to do is get them into a structure that is common so that BXP can process them. So for this, we have a set of rules which we're going to apply and a data storage area in BXP format. So the data is retrieved via the input into the input rules. The rules process through and the data gets outputted into a BXP form. The data from that BXP form is then available to the process, which again will draw on the rules to be able to create formatted outputs. So the process goes down to the output and then outputs to your formatted data, whether that's a file you push to another system or is it within BXP to be able to use all the BXP reporting tools that are already available. In this example, we're going to look at 4 different data sources going into the system. So we start off with an absence report from a HR system. We have an infringement report from, again, a different HR system. We have a clock balance report from a clocking system and an agent performance report from a Nortel phone system. All of these 4 different reports are going to be retrieved, then input and process using a manual process of uploading the file, and then we will run the process on them to clean them, tidy them, and put them together into a single form in BXP. This form is made up of a number of sections, some common information across all 4 reports, such as name, then the clock balance information, the absence information, and the infringement information, and finally the Nortel data will go in. In order to be able to put all of this information in the most efficient format, the Nortel, the agent performance report, actually has the most data. So we start by retrieving that, manually uploading it, and processing it into the form. So that agent performance data will go through the process, get loaded into the form, and then we'll see how the other reports then build up behind it. So let's get started. Here's our common form with the different areas. Now what we're going to do is we're going to retrieve our spreadsheets. So let's have a quick look at them and the kind of data that they contain. As you can see, this is the absence report, number of pieces of data, the infringement report, again with different data. The clock balance report, different layout with different spacings. And then the agent performance report, which as you can see has a lot of spacing and data in very diverse columns. So there are 4 spreadsheets. We want to load them into this, our common form. So we start by uploading the first of those reports, the agent performance report. So in this particular instance, we're picking one particular month's worth of data. The data is manually uploaded into the system, takes a couple of seconds to process. And from that, then we're now going to run our metadata processes against this. So we join the input and the process together, and it says, which one do you want to run? Here's the Nortel agent performance report. And it's quite a long scroll down the screen to be able to see all of them. The option here is do you wish to run the process? We say yes. It then executes all of the rules that have been defined. So all of those rules for all the different parts of that metadata process run against the data, chopping, slicing, dicing, and arranging the data into the system into the format and the layout of that common form that we set up. It will dump some data, tidy some data, and reposition them. Takes a couple of seconds to run through it and loads all of the different lines that are available in that spreadsheet. To have a quick look, we can now use the move bar at the top. So moving to the first record, it allows us to be able to see that we actually have 595 rows of just raw data that we took out of that spreadsheet. All of the data has been sifted and tidied neatly down into the Nortel section. So job 1 done. We're now going to move on. We now need to be able to get the next report loaded into the system. So we open up our infringement reports, once again choosing the same month for being able to load the data, January in this case. So with the infringement report now loading up, we turn around and say to the system, please open that spreadsheet and transfer it up into the system. Spreadsheet takes a couple of moments to load into the system. This is a live demonstration of just real processing times. The process we now say was we wanted to execute a different program, the different set of rules that process that infringement report. Once again, we say we want the data to execute. The true false allows you to be able to test and see if your rules are going to work. And as can be seen here, you can have literally hundreds of rules in how you process your data. All of these rules are very simple ones of what you would do manually, but they've just been set up as macro rules. There's the data processed. Now what we want to do is we'll just have a quick look in our common form to be able to see what happened to our data. So that's the previous time, that's with some of the world's 595 records. As part of the cleaning process, it says there's 595 as the maximum record, but you'll notice the number's gone down to 38. It's actually cleaned out all the blanks and added in all of the data as part of the rules of the process of what was set up for the infringement report. Now the clock balance report. Again, a different spreadsheet with completely different layout, different numbers and identifying. Takes a couple of seconds to process all the records in that. Again, we choose a different set of processes just to run against these rules. So this happens to be the clock balance report. Yes, we want to execute the rules. We don't need to test them. We run it. Moments later, the process after reading through the spreadsheet, matching up, sometimes you'll base it on first name, surname, sometimes it's on people's IDs. The true power of metadata is that it can match on anything, and you can set the rules up to be able to do the processing to get it to match on anything. Now, once again, maximum was previously 595. There are 38. The names are redacted, but you'll notice now some of the common data has been filled in. So that staff information that's common, the date and the section that they happen to work in came from that report, as well as the dedicated clock balance information. And finally, we come to the absence report and the bits of information that we need to extract out of this. We click open. Again, we transfer the file up. The file takes a couple of seconds to upload. We then choose, in this particular instance, a different program again. And we're just showing you here the different process reports that can be run. We can create as many custom reports with you, or you can create your own and manage them yourself. And building all of these programs up together, you can actually run them in a sequential manner such that all of these can run overnight, can run any time of the day. Once the file's available, you can run the processes by hand, which is very handy as a macro, or in an automated way, the files can be uploaded either in real time or in batch and processed as you have that file data available. So as we see here, we now have the data, it's all been loaded up and tidied, and all the sections are now filled in. Although there was previously 595 lines of information came from the Nortel report, it's all been cleared down to only agent records, which as you can see is one of 53. So there's our 53 staff, there's the totals and all the numbers in, and that is an example of metadata from start to finish. Metadata can provide a myriad of benefits to you and your business. So why not contact us now and see how we can help you? Thank you for watching our video.